Just kidding. But you notice, I've been reading a lot. I wonder if the chat knows what I'm about to say. There's a certain type of Jim's soccer ball Stancil reporting for duty. Hey, buddy. There's a certain type of story you guys don't see in the news anymore. I want to see. This is kind of my test. This is why I like live audience interaction. This is the test on whether or not I'm crazy or if I'm recognizing something that maybe there's a certain type of news story that used to be out there 3 times a day, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and I am not seeing them anymore. I want to see if anybody knows. And to me, it's a sign that the media does not want to talk about this shit anymore. They're not going to attack you and slander you for it. They're just going to pretend it's not happening. Boy, you know what? I might be crazy because all the chats that are coming in right now. Anti-government stories, no. Divorce lawyer ads, says Mr. Be Nice. East Palestine, nope. Man bites dog, monkeypox, COVID cases, derailments, Jew stuff.
Jew stuff.
Okay, you know what? Maybe I'm crazy. Or maybe I'll say this and you guys will go, you know what? I haven't seen a lot of it. Bingo, Scarface. Okay, there's at least one person. I have not seen any, hey, 19-year-old basketball player drops dead on the basketball court, or football player drops dead in the middle of the field, or I think Hayden Panettiere's brother was the last one I saw.
Yes, it was.
And I think they stopped reporting on it after that because
it was too on the nose.
Right, Hayden Panettiere came right up. Like, I got wide-eyed when I saw it. Hayden Panettiere said, yeah, my 28-year-old brother, he dropped dead. Oh, what happened? And I thought she'd say, like, a condition he's had since birth or anything like that. She goes, no, an enlarged heart. Like,
no, you know why that is? Because eventually people's loved ones are going to keep dying and people are going to get fucking frustrated with it because they can't tell, anyone. No one believes them. Yeah, and it's just going to start happening.
RGZ Mac, I agree with you. It's still happening 9 times a week. What I'm saying is, as a guy who preps shows, and I go to lefty and righty sites, I go to CNN, I go to the Blaze. I try to keep that balance up. I don't see it anymore.
No.
I just don't see it being reported. I know it's happening, but I don't see it being reported anymore.
Nobody wants to talk about it.
Right. So to me, the media, I think, does 2 things. They either attack, and that's usually how they meet it first when they don't want to have a discussion about something. And then after that doesn't work, they just completely wipe it out of the conversation. That's kind of what happens every time Joe Rogan comes up in the media. Remember when he got COVID and he said, hey, my doctor threw the kitchen sink at it. He prescribed me this, he prescribed me that. And one of the things was ivermectin, the human version of ivermectin. And remember, the media went, Joe Rogan's misinformation. He's taking horse paste. He's taking horse medicine.
Yes.
You shouldn't take a horse medicine. Don't listen to Joe Rogan.
You'll die.
Well, once people went, fuck you, we're going to keep listening to Joe Rogan. And by the way, he's not taking horse paste. It's prescribed by a doctor. It's an anti-malaria drug for humans. The media went, all right, shut up. We're not talking about Joe Rogan anymore. Move on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they had to move on actually to saying he said the N-word once.
Oh, you're right. They did. Wow, great memory. Yeah, then they went, oh yeah, Joe Rogan said the N-word like 10 years ago.
So you have to discredit everything he's ever said.
But that is a normal thing for the media. Unfortunately, for that F-list guy who's gone after us, he kind of does the same thing. He goes, this, and people go, yeah, we don't give a shit. We're still watching. And then he goes, wait a minute, no, this one. And we go, yeah, don't give a shit, not watching. And daddy's not giving you any attention. Wait, this one. It's like, how many times are you going to do this? What's going to make you happy? Same thing with the media. The lefties in the media do the same thing that guy does. And they do this thing where they go, oh, this guy, he's evil, he's terrible. And then people go, I don't really see him as evil and terrible. They go, all right, well, no more talking about him.
Or they're like, okay, I like the evil and terrible.
Right. So so the J6 stuff is coming back out again because with the Republicans in charge, they've now gotten to subpoena all the tapes and all the information. And what they're finding out is, and Tucker Carlson's been playing this on his show every night, what they're finding out is there's a lot of footage that the people in that J6 commission did not show. And the stuff they did show, they were putting sound behind it. They were
amping it up.
Yeah, they were putting screams in it when it was a silent CCTV tape.
Mm-hmm.
And Tucker's been showing other videos. One where the cops are like, hey, we feel like we got set up here. We feel like they were trying to get this to happen. They show professional agitators in the crowd ushering people forward. And it's really interesting because when the J6 commission was happening, You didn't hear the media go, hey, come on, you should be showing all the tapes. You're cherry picking. This isn't fair, even though that's what they were doing. The message they were sending was the one the media wanted to put out there. Now Tucker Carlson is showing these other J6 tapes, and now all of a sudden the media is going, oh, don't listen to Tucker Carlson. He's a piece of shit. He's blasphemous. It's fake news. He's cherry picking all of this footage. Well, wait a minute. You guys have put out all the other footage. That stuff's still there. You guys can go and watch that all day long if you want to.
Yep.
Tucker's just putting out more footage. He's not reeling back the other stuff.
He didn't make the footage.
Right. He didn't reel back the other stuff and delete it from existence. I mean, imagine what a psychopath control freak you have to be that you're getting mad at someone for adding more information to something.
Well, it's just like the ex-head of the CDC just said, anytime there's only a one-sided narrative out there, there's a problem.
Right.
You know,
in fact,
you can't look at the whole picture.
Coltrane renewed his membership and said, I'm behind in the chat, but that Redfield guy saying everyone following one point of view is a problem, now do climate change. Yep. Same thing. Interesting thought. So Tucker Carlson's been putting out these videos, and Joe Rogan decided to comment on them on his show.
Okay.
And this is going to be, again, where the media, you'll see the pattern. They're going to attack Tucker Carlson. They have been. They're going to say the January 6th videos he's releasing, hey, nothing to, they're Officer Bar Brady in South Park. Nothing to see here, folks. It's all fine. Don't worry about it. Well, now Joe Rogan's on it. And look, Tucker Carlson is one thing. He's very big in the news world. But Joe Rogan's the biggest broadcaster on earth. And look, you know Joe Rogan fans. Most of them take everything this guy says as gospel.
Yep. He's their guy.
Right or wrong, good or bad. And I don't blame Joe because he just does his show. If people want to, believe him that much, that's great. It's not his fault. But here's Joe's thoughts on the January 6th tapes.
And I go, I would vote for Trump before I'd vote for Biden, just because I think with Biden, like he's gone. Like
Oh, this is clip one. I'm sorry. This is him voting for Trump before he'd vote for Biden.
He's gone. You're going to be relying on his cabinet, and I knew his cabinet would be this sideshow of diversity, and which is exactly what it is. I mean, that one person who stole all the women's clothes, that Sam Brinton, we highlighted on the podcast yesterday, like that's a diversity hire. You just said, oh, look at this, a man who dresses like a woman and has a beard and a mustache, but also wears lipstick. This is perfect for us.
I'm sorry, but I hate to sound like an old man in my 30s, but celebrating that as a diversity hire, was this country not in a better place when we said, look, if you're a man and you want to wear a dress and, dress like a woman, I don't give a shit, not my pig, not my farm, leave me out of it. But wasn't the country a better place when we took that attitude and then said, but we're not going to give you anything important to do because you're not to be taken seriously?
I agree with you.
You're dressing like a fucking tart and you're acting like a fucking lunatic. We're not giving you an important job to do. You can be an assistant manager at a Petco.
Yeah,
right? You're perfect.
We can't be a clown and be in charge of things.
Exactly. So everyone acts like if you're not for giving that person an important government job, that all of a sudden you're transphobic or you're anti that. And I'm like, no, I just want to put that in its proper perspective. All right, that should be allowed to exist. That should be allowed to be a thing. Absolutely. Ain't hurting me. Don't give that anything important to do.
It's even worse than that, though, now. People like Kamala and stuff, there's like her quotes out there all over the place where they're basically just basing their entire existence and what diversity. They do on diversity.
Right.
Like that makes and breaks us.
Diversity for diversity's sake is stupid. And it's also kind of racist in a roundabout way. Because what you're saying is, well, we wouldn't hire any trans or black people if we had to hire based on merit. I mean, so we got to just go ahead and take a few. No, if you hire based on merit, I guarantee you're going to get a kaleidoscope of colors. Yeah, you might get more of this than you'll get of that, but they'll all be represented.
Do people truly like being hired for a job or elected just because they're black or trans, by the way? How does that feel?
And the flip side to that, the people who do feel good about that, do you want them doing anything important?
Nope.
I don't.
I don't give a fuck what this guy's good at or bad at. I don't give a fuck what their credentials are. This makes us look like we're inclusive. This makes us look like we're on the right side. So let's hire this person. And you can't have those kind of people running a Ben and Jerry's. You certainly can't have those kind of people running the most powerful government the world's ever known.
Right.
It's nuts. It's not.
It's going to be the end of us. Like, if we keep denying that merit is a thing,
yes,
it's going to be the death of us. So I'm sorry, guys. Here's Joe Rogan on the Tucker stuff, on the January 6th stuff that Tucker's been showing. By the way, is that a fucking Lex Fridman head that Joe has?
It's a cake. It's a cake made into Lex Fridman's face.
Why?
They posted this yesterday, yep.
Why? Joe.
Joe likes him. I don't know.
I hope he likes him the way we like Gordy. You know, like he's a dog. He's not like
love Gordy.
Right, but we love him as a pet, as an animal, as a dog. I hope he doesn't respect Lex Fridman's intellect, because Lex Fridman is an octave away from being boring Jeremy.
Well, check it out. They made him into a cake. That's not like they made a statue out of him.
See, this is where, like, if I ever even got on a level where I could be on Rogan's show, I would blow it immediately. Because he'd go, hey, man, welcome to the podcast. I saw your show at Steel Toe. It's kind of interesting. It's, it's like bringing back morning radio, but to, a good morning radio show, but to podcasting. Hey, Joe, can I borrow a fork, please? I didn't eat anything on the way here. I'd like to have some of this Lex cake. Yeah, sure, have a piece. And I just start digging it into Lex Fridman's eyeball on the cake, and I'm just fucking tearing at it. And he's like, you know what? We're going to end the podcast and cut it short. And I just look at him. I go, I've got frosting all over my face. For Lex Fridman's cake is torn apart. And I look at him. I go, you know what, Joe? 2 things. 1, good call. Number 2, worth it. And I'd do it again.
You did make that hit call, didn't you? You are psychotic.
I'm not saying anything about my extracurricular activities.
Oh, even I don't know what he's up to.
I just know that August 12th at Stoney's for the 9th anniversary party is going to be a great goddamn time.
Yes, it is.
All right, here you go. This is Joe speaking on the January 6th stuff that Tucker's been putting out there.
And at the center of it, the single most famous person arrested that day was a Navy veteran from Arizona called Jacob Chansley.
Fuck that. That's Q Shaman, bro.
Referred to as the QAnon shaman.
The so-called QAnon shaman. QAnon shaman.
Someone named Q Shaman.
By the way, I need to back things up a little bit here. Do we have any confirmation that guy ever called himself QAnon shaman, or is that just something the media made up and ran with?
I don't know. Because I've wondered that too, because once we give these, if you seriously think he's just some freak doing bad shit, you're going to glorify him with a name like that?
Yeah. Or,
might
have been like a what do you call it? A message board name. I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
Jacob Chansley became the face of January 6th, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive.
That's
true.
What
did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape.
Look, there's fucking cops following him around, escorting him.
They're just watching him.
If this guy was such a dangerous overthrowing the government guy, wouldn't you lock him in cuffs like right fucking now?
Sure would. You have every right.
Again, I see this footage of this stuff and I'm like, these people were all rounded up like cattle and set up.
It kind of does look like you're being goaded into something.
No pun intended.
Right.
Goaded into something. But yeah, everything is like stirring the crowd up. Like if you would have left these people to protest, they probably would have sat outside the Capitol, yelled and screamed, bullshit, I hate the election.
Like
blah,
they
blah,
did
blah,
on
blah,
the other side.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But you got people whipping them up, agitating them. You put no security, no police in the way. And then, this has always bothered me. All those cops in the weeks after January 6th who just dropped dead. Do you remember that? Wasn't it like 6 cops died?
There was a good handful of cops that just kind of out of nowhere started dying.
It's just too weird to me. It's just, again, I'm not
really
making any
nowhere.
statements. I'm not saying anything.
You're confused.
I don't get it. Why are two cops following this guy around if he's a dangerous 4-year imprisoned, overthrowing democracy guy?
And why aren't you tackling him and arresting him?
The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides.
Wow.
Here's video of Chansley.
They're opening the door for him.
Oh my God!
Are those two cops maybe ones that passed away?
Yeah, what's their
Sadly.
status? They opened the
what's your
fucking
status, bro?
door for him?
Oh, God.
Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried.
Right there! Right there! He's dangerous. He's an insurrectionist.
It would take 2 of you to grab him and put him in cuffs.
To slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us in this building.
Oh, everything has fallen apart now.
Do you now
That's tragic.
Do you now understand why the media is going so hard at Tucker Carlson right now?
Oh, Tucker Carlson is a liar. Hashtag was trending last night.
This shit is not supposed to be seeing the light of day.
Good for him. I mean,
Yeah, why are they calling him a liar on social media? All he's doing is playing the videos.
yeah, he didn't do this. He didn't make this happen. He didn't reenact things.
Right, worst case scenario, I'll give you this, because you know me, no Mr. Righty, no Mr. Lefty. But I'll give. Here's the best I can give you. He's cherry picking the videos he's choosing to play. All right, then he's the same as you, because you cherry picked the videos that you wanted to show. So you guys are the same. I'm fine with that, because I've always said that these people are all the same.
In the videos, the other people cherry picked have had their time in the sun. Okay,
Yeah.
They've been exposed now. Now, how about these ones? Why don't we get both sides?
For what, 2 years now? We've been watching your videos.
Yes, yep. And people, again, have lost jobs and shit and respect over their takes on January 6th.
Right.
So,
Holy
The
crap.
reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th.
Oh, he's bald.
Indisputable fact.
Oh, he didn't even have the goat costume on then.
Recorded on video, some of which has never before been seen, with the depiction of Jacob Chansley that you've seen in the media for more than 2 years. He's a terrorist, they said. He should be killed.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Like, you burst into the United States, if he was dressed like bin Laden, would you have shot him?
Shoot him.
No.
Shoot him. It makes you wonder, who are the violent extremists here? Not Jacob Chansley. And the video proves that. But you would never have known from the media coverage.
The people sitting in the chairs.
So look, I'm as jaded and as cynical as anyone out there when it comes to politics, but there are certain things that that elections do influence. And if McCarthy weren't the Speaker of the House right now, we don't see any of this stuff.
this is, I don't want to say shocking. Shocking's not the right word, but it is interesting just how opposite it is from the narrative we've all been given.
Look, should those people have been in there that day? No, you should schedule a tour. You should go do a tour. They were, I don't know if you can trespass on public property, but whatever the equivalent to that would be, they were.
You're causing a bit of a disturbance, maybe.
But at what point were they confronted in a way that made them feel like they weren't supposed to be there? This guy's being taken on a tour of the Capitol.
So, like I said, I've been to the Capitol building before. You do have to schedule things to get in there. Otherwise, you are technically not following the laws of that building. But
and it's kind of the same questions that I have about like Pearl Harbor. Okay, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. We didn't know anything about it, but magically our aircraft carriers, the ships that are going to win this war for you when there is a war, they were out to sea that day. They weren't in the harbor. They were the one ship that was on a training mission, were our aircraft carriers. I'm sorry. Okay, Tucker Carlson, these January 6th tapes. These people are all domestic terrorists. They're crazy. They're awful.
Oh.
Why? All of our Congress, and we had no idea this was going to happen, and they just interrupted everything. No Congress people are there. They all happen to be safe. They're all locked down somewhere. None of them are even wandering the halls. None of them are in the chamber. Nothing. Magically, this all happened once everybody was far away and locked down. That's interesting to me.
But we still get to have the likes of AOC buildings and buildings away.
Yes.
crying and saying that she was afraid for her life and that she was going to be assaulted.
Bro, all I'm saying is it looks a little weird.
It's pretty weird.
Wild. Right? You're not supposed to go into the Capitol building.
Right.
Grant.
I thought you at certain times you are.
Not like that.
Yeah, not like that. Sure.
Not like that.
But you schedule it.
Yeah.
When you see the people taking him around essentially on a tour, that's not what I thought it was.
I just hope all the conservatives watching this realize how little appetite there is in the Republican Party for defending people like this and thinking that Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump.
I've always liked Michael Malice. He's a smart guy. He's like a better Lex Fridman. He's like a smart dude, but he's like got some balls and he's not lame.
He is smart. Like, he's right. I don't think we're like any Republicans or anything are out here saying, oh God, I really want to defend the Q shaman and stuff, because he didn't go about things the right way. It's more so about what the media did to all of us to cause such an outrage over this nonsense. Like,
care about
terrorists.
this is a delusion.
It's not even defending them. It's just forget about it. Let's look at what actually happened. We didn't know that happened.
Right.
We had a version of it where it was just chaos and the cops ran away.
And cops were murdered.
Yeah. I would have never imagined that this.
I'm shocked to see that.
That's so wild.
And like to your point that it's not a bigger story, that it's fucking Tucker who's covering this.
Is Michael Malice Anthony Cumia's younger brother?
Maybe. I noticed that, and I noticed he's wearing a COVID positive shirt.
Oh, that's funny.
That's broken. And I think people are starting to pay attention to it now.
I don't think it's broken. I think it's by design. I think it's it's by design. It's not an accident.
No, I mean, it just broke. I mean, like.
Oh, yeah. Okay, story just broke
got out in the world.
Yeah.
I think it's really recent. And so I think people are just starting to recognize that it's not what you thought it was.
See, this is where CNN and the media and the internet, they're going to just shut down. They're just not going to talk about the January 6th stuff anymore.
Well, because like this disproves most of the things they've said now, doesn't it?
They're now just going to go, fuck it, we're not talking about it. Because when it first came out, they went, that's Tucker Carlson. Are you going to believe that bag of shit? He sucks. He's cherry picking it. But now when someone like Joe Rogan goes on and goes, hey, I've never seen that before. That looks a little fucky. They're going to go, all right, guys, no more talking about January 6th. It's not the most important terrorist attack since 9/11. It's not the Civil War anymore. It's just, some people did something.
It's a threat to our democracy.
Yeah, it's not a threat to our democracy anymore.